Welcome to the Liars Club. This is where we take our guests, we tell them to give us the truth, give us a lie, we figure out which is which. I'm Jessica Wellington.
I'm Felicia Michaels.
And you're about to get lied to.
Today we have two fantastic guests. We have someone who, Jessica, by the way, is one of the oldest people I know in comedy.
Okay.
I mean, I just met him last week, but he is one of the oldest people I know in comedy. No, he's one of my best friends. Please give it up to a man that was a writer on Roseanne.
Executive producer.
Roseanne.
Executive producer on Roseanne. Please welcome Allan Stephan, one of my oldest friends. Yay!
And now I have the newest paid regular at the Comedy Store, so we're getting a little bit of old school, new school, which I think is pretty cool. This is Ron Taylor. He's a fabulous comedian. He is one of the most natural. He's smooth on stage.
Oh, that's funny. Thank you.
You know, I don't know how to. He's smooth. That's
Appreciate
the best
it.
way to describe it.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Are you like Mitch Hedberg smooth? Where
No, I'm not that.
it's like
I'm not
jazz?
heroin smooth.
Yeah.
No, get no smoother than
That was quick. I'll give you that one.
Well, I just needed to get that out of the way.
That's
Okay.
funny. I'm not heroin smooth.
So
Well-
just kick it off today. Our theme.
Our theme is, I was thinking the theme is when we were talking, when Jessica told me that Ron was the newest paid regular, I was like, what paid regular can I get that is the crankiest old fuck? and we'll get him on the show and we'll talk about either our first time here at the Comedy Store performing or first time on stage ever. And I'll kick it off.
Please.
Oh, okay, I'll kick it off. when I was 18 years old, Alan's going to roll his eyes. He's like, not this
I already
fucking
did.
story
I
again.
already did.
But when I was 18 years old, I was a stripper. And I was doing a wet T-shirt contest. This is right how I got the job. I
Why
did
do
a
you
wet
start
T-shirt.
with the good stuff?
Anyway, so I was doing a wet T-shirt contest at this place called the Peppermint Lounge in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And a comedian came into the club, and we started dating. And then when we were dating, he took me to go see him finally for the first time in a club in Denver, the Denver Comedy Works. And there was a girl that opened for
Is this
him.
a person I knew?
That
Joey Diaz.
no,
He was
no.
in Colorado. wasn't
No,
he?
that's that was before Joey Diaz got to Colorado. I have a great Joey
Is
Diaz
this a
story
person
though.
I knew?
This is Jeff, yeah.
I got confused when you say comedian.
Oh yes, I know. That's him taking a dig at Jeff, the guy that I went out with. So he took me to go see him at the Denver Comedy Works, and there was this girl that was opening up for him, and she was eating like the biggest dick on stage. And I was literally like 18 or 19 and drunk for my first time, and I was like, oh my God, she's
Hold on, you were a
terrible.
stripper and you were drunk for your first
First
time?
time. I know, because when I stripped, I did that sober.
And also sounded
yeah.
like
did?
Yes,
also
fuck
sounded
yeah.
like a 10-year-old runaway.
Yes, yes. He remembers.
Not a lot of women strip sober.
I had to strip. So I'm a good person. I'm a good person. You think that I can't just strip and be sober at the same time? When I was 18 and everything was hard, why would I drink at that time? Now, if I had to strip, I'd be drunk because I'd be like,
I'll
these
have
poor
you know,
people.
as you were introducing the story, I was like, this is the calmest I've ever heard somebody talk about a wet T-shirt contest.
Yes,
Well, I was 18, and I was entering into a wet T-shirt contest.
a wet T-shirt contest. By the way, they gave us the song list, and on top of the song list was AC/DC's "Highway to Hell."
Right.
And I know it. I was like, if I'm going to hell, I'm going to do it to the right goddamn song. And that's my song I chose. And anyway, so I met the comedian. We were drunk at the club. I shot off at the mouth because I was all drunkies. And he was like, comedy is hard. It's way harder than being a stripper. I bet you don't have the balls to tell a joke. Yeah, taking your top off is easy. And I was all like, fuck you. I'm going to try stand-up comedy. And then he got me a set at a rock and roll club called Godfathers in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Did you ever work there, Alan?
No.
Okay. Anyway, well, you shook your head like you knew what I was talking about, and I did my first set ever at that rock and
No,
roll
I
club.
was just wondering why you didn't challenge him to get up and take his pants down.
Right.
Oh, because I was 18 and not quick and clever at that time. You know what I mean?
How did
it
the
was
set
all
itself go?
I killed. Because
Really?
that's how comedy gets you. You kill the first time, and then you eat a big dick for like 3 years after. No, I totally killed. That's why I was in. I was like, oh my God, I can do this. But I totally like ate a big dick for like 3 years after that. But yeah,
For you
totally
people
killed.
listening, eating dick's a technical comedy term.
Yeah.
It's not a stripper term.
We don't all
No, it can't be. It's actually both. It's actually both. Let's be fair.
we don't all eat dicks when we start comedy. I didn't. I did intermittent fasting of eating dicks. So I eat a dick every 3 months. That's how you keep it. I still do that to this day.
Yeah.
Keeps you strong.
Ron,
Yes.
do you remember your first time on stage?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Will you talk about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
So 2 weeks ago.
right. So, long story short, I wanted to do comedy. So I saw Dave Chappelle on Inside the Actors Studio. After I saw that, I was like, I'm going to do comedy. And I decided then. Hadn't done it yet, but I was like, I'm going to do it. So I started going to school, to college for theater arts, because in that Inside the Actors Studio thing, he said he went to school for theater arts.
Well, how old were you when you saw that?
18.
Oh, wow.
18 in the summer. 18. So went to school for that. Started telling people I'm a comedian. Had never done it, but that's just what I was in my mind. I'm a comedian. I was writing jokes. I had a joke book. Had never told them anything like that. So I'm telling people I'm a comedian. There's a comedian that came to our school. At this time, like, I hadn't re-enrolled for the second semester, but I'm still there because I'm like, I don't know why. I'm just there. It was like, anyway. So a comedian had came to the college. Now, looking back at it, that was a hell gig for him. I didn't know that because
Right.
Who was it?
Mike Green, a guy from Michigan.
Okay.
So we're in the audience. It's like it seats 500. It's like 30 scattered in an auditorium or something.
Oh, those are hell gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I'm just like, oh, this guy, look at him doing his thing. So I'm laughing and stuff. Now, mind you, I had already called in a club to do an open mic. The date just hadn't come up yet. So that was
Right.
going to be my first time on stage.
Oh, nice.
Which was, let's say it was January 30th. It was somewhere in there of 2010. But 2 weeks prior to that date, I'm in this show at the college, and we're laughing, me and my buddies, and the comedian goes, hey, what are you guys laughing at? And I'm like, you, motherfucker, you on stage. Didn't say that, but I'm like, you. And my buddy's like, he got a joke he want to tell you.
Oh, no.
Did not say that at all. He got a joke. And the guy on stage, Mike Green, goes, you guys want to hear his joke? And I'm like, yeah, you guys want to hear his joke? I'm like, no, you want to hear his joke? Yeah. So I had to go up there, told my joke, completely blacked out. I don't even know what I said. Don't know if I got laughs. Don't know anything. I just went up there, came off, and that was the first time. It
Wow.
was my first time on
Wow.
stage. Yeah.
Wow.
I still know Mike Green to this day. I was like, I was on stage. I told
really?
I told a joke about.
Haven't you asked him how well it went? If you got laughs or
I'm sure he didn't know. Think about it. He was doing a gig and brought somebody up on stage.
He was
didn't
like,
give
thank
a fuck
God,
about
thank
that
God
job.
someone wants to
Right.
come up here and
Yeah,
take
he
this
didn't
time
give
for
a
me.
fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
true?
But I told a joke. I remember I told a joke about jerking off on the toilet and sneezing and coming at the same time.
There goes what I was going to say.
Well,
What's your
damn.
what's your first story, Alan?
I just started living with a girl the first time
Ooh,
from
cohabitation.
Georgia, and she worked across from the Garden State racetrack at a place called Steak and Brew.
And so, what year was this, and how old were you? That's right.
I might have
Say it
been-
into the
I
microphone.
might have been 21,
Oh, okay.
22,
Uh-huh.
and I would go into the lounge where she worked, and it was always guys from South Philly. And there was a band which was a brother and sister. He played keyboard, she played drums, and I'd go up because I used to be a drummer and do a couple songs, and then I'd get on the mic and make fun of the South Philadelphia boys with the white shoes and the white belt. And before you know it, the owner says, how about we call this Allen's Lounge on Fridays and Saturdays? And you get up there and rip them in the ass. I go, all right. Well, I didn't have to think about that. And I do a couple songs on the drums, and I greet everybody. It went really, really well. And then they decide in their bigger room, they're going to have a big New Year's show and play another white song, Funky Boy. That band was headlining.
Uh-huh.
So they came and said, would you like to open for them? And I said, sure. And then I realized, well, I probably need material. I can't do what I do in that stupid room. And I stole from everybody. And I had a banana to eat and a sandwich. Nothing made sense. It was horrible. And they bring me up, and my parents were there with their friends. And it's about, I don't know, 300 people. and my friend, who's still my friend from high school, Jay. And I went up there, dead silence for a half hour, except for my father would laugh in all the uncomfortable places. And afterwards, I went out, and I'm talking to Jay, and I just leaned over and puked in the parking lot. And I went home, and I said to my father, "What were you laughing at?" He goes, "How could you not realize how much they hated you? It was hysterical. It was hysterical. I kept saying to your mother, this kid's a fucking idiot." And I was not a kid who made jokes. I came from a funny family. I was the kid in the corner that was pretty quiet and just took it all in. But I was sarcastic. But I can't tell a joke. My whole family can tell a joke. And so I had no intentions of being a comic. I came out here to be an actor and met Mitchell Walters and a guy named Bobby Lord who lost his mind and was institutionalized on a rooftop party. And they happened to be comics here at the Comedy Store when there wasn't enough. So when I auditioned, it was like, sure, you're in.
What year was that?
75, late 75, I think.
What was I doing in
Wow.
75? I think I was.
What was your
Not
dad
alive
doing in
yet.
75?
I was grass that a cow ate that my father then ate, turned to protein, and then turned to come in his balls.
Yeah, you weren't even here yet.
I was still grass at that time.
Well, thank you guys for coming on to the Liars Club. And the way the Liars Club works is we ask two of our guests to tell two stories, one a true story and one a lie. And then Jessica and I will pepper them with questions, and then we will vote on what is the truth and what is a lie.
See, I was going to tell one story that involved you, but you'll know the truth. Or if
Yeah,
it's
you
a
can't
lie.
say a story, so we'll
Too
start
bad.
with so we
Well,
won't start
I
with
want
you.
to tell my
Too
story
bad.
really
that's
quick.
right. Yes.
How
yeah,
you got
please.
into comedy?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
and
we're
I bet
out
you
of
have
time.
a great. And I bet you have a
Shit.
great story because you used to be in the Air Force. That's what
Well,
always wanted to ask you.
I was in the Air Force. Yeah, I got out. I actually came to California because I wanted to come back to the West Coast.
What was your rank, if I may ask?
I only made it senior airman, E4.
Oh, it's higher than me.
How
Yeah.
long were you in the Air Force?
6 years.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Did you ever get in trouble?
Not really.
Really?
Sorry.
No,
To disappoint you?
was like,
Get in trouble for what? What was you getting in trouble
because
for?
being bossed around all the time. So you got totally bossed around. You just
Some
did
people
everything.
get that it's the service.
Yeah. It's not bossed around. That's
Not
what it is.
everybody's a relationship. All right, what was your story?
So I was out of the Air Force. So let's get away from that.
Okay, all right.
I was
whatever.
out. I wanted to get back to the West Coast, so a friend of mine that I did know from the Air Force, she had gone through a divorce. She needed some help, said she was an alcoholic. And I was like, how bad of an alcoholic could she be? I knew her back in the day. She never drank. It was like pulling teeth to get her to go out. So I went there. Come to find out, she was a full-blown alcoholic. And I was kind of taking care of her kid and all that. But I needed some time away. One of the first thing I did was look up a comedy club to go watch. Because in my mind, I never knew how you even got started in comedy. I thought people, somebody would see you on the street and say, hey, you, come with me. You're funny. Like, that was it.
What year was this?
This was, I don't know, I was like 28, so 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Oh, well, there was a time where they take you off the street.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't then, for sure.
Right.
And that's why I thought that's how it works. I was like, I don't even know how to get started, so it never entered my mind that I could do it.
Uh-huh.
But I always loved comedy, and I'd seen some comedy shows in the Air Force, blah, blah, blah. Went there, and then I realized during the show, I was like, wait a minute, you guys have an open mic and improv classes. You mean anybody can do this? And I went and did the open mic
And where was this?
in Sacramento
Oh, okay.
at the Comedy Spot.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
And I don't think I did very well, but I loved the stage. I always liked being on stage. I remember I did a public speaking class.
Uh-huh.
And this was in the Air Force, and me and my supervisor wrote it. And it was how to shave your beaver. And my teacher thought that just because I was a redneck, that I was really going to talk about how to shave a beaver.
Uh-huh.
But it was a whole thing like I'm hinting at this is your pussy
Right.
that we're shaving.
Right. Oh, my God.
And it was great. I was like, ma'am, for this demonstration, do you mind if we use your beaver? And had a little stuffed beaver under her seat.
Uh-huh.
It It
You
was
did
one of-
props.
So I always loved being on stage.
Oh, nice.
Is
All
this-
right, that's
Okay,
an awesome
sorry.
story. I never knew that part of the story. So anyway, we're going to start off with our 2 stories. So Ron, what's your first story? It can be a truth, it can be a lie, and let's hear it.
All right. So I was trying to have sex with this girl for the first time. My first time, at least. And,
Your first time ever.
yeah, my first attempt to fuck a woman. And didn't really go well. What happened was it was a girl in class, and she was very gangster. I don't know why, but she was very gangster. And at some point, she was like, "Yo, when we gonna fuck?" And I was like, "Whenever you want. Yeah, we can do that." So we went to the movies. We go to the movies, and I don't really remember what happened at the movies, but we left the movies to fuck in my car. It was very cold. It was winter, so we pulled into a Jiffy Lube, which is pretty funny now to think about it. Pulled into a Jiffy Lube, and
How ironic.
yeah, into the back of a Jiffy Lube. I push all my chairs forward so we can have more room in the back. I had a Ford Taurus. So we get in the back, and I had been preparing for this day, so I had a very special condom.
I'm sorry, Ford Taurus, though.
Ford,
The Jiffy
yeah,
Lube?
Ford Taurus.
Wow.
I didn't think about all that when this definitely happened.
You had a special condom for this day?
Yes, I had a heated, ribbed Magnum condom that my buddy
heated
gave.
ribbed? What does that
Yeah,
mean?
it was
Heated, like-
ribbed, and it had a heating sensation on it for her pleasure, and I guess my pleasure, whenever.
Did someone give you that condom?
Yes, my buddy Lane, who was
For your
attached.
first time, I wouldn't think you would need all that extra sensation.
Well, you don't know. When you don't know, you don't know. So, cut 2, we get into the back, and I'm munching on her pussy. And
You're munching on the pussy on the first time?
Yeah.
Hey, it's a
Ron,
Taurus.
bold.
hey, what do you don't know what you're not supposed to do, or do. So I do that, but then I realized it's fucking time, but my dick wasn't up.
What?
Yeah, it was just like, I thought, nobody told me how it was supposed to get up, It was like, does it just happen?
It'll happen again.
It didn't get up. So I put the condom on. I'm like, oh, maybe my dick is supposed to grow in the condom. Maybe that's what happened.
Oh.
So I put it on this fucking
It's
Vienna
turned into
sausage.
an adorable story now.
Oh, no.
Are you a virgin?
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. And I was after
Was
this
just
story
a few months
too.
ago?
No.
You seem so young.
So I put the condom on, and then nothing worked. And then finally she was like, let's just try this again later. So I pull my pants back up, get in the front, and oh wait, let me digress. While I was in the back, that's why I mentioned Ford Taurus, and I was sitting down, and she tried to like straddle me. The heat panel in a Taurus is right in the middle in the back seat, and like I said, it was winter. Heat was blasting on my balls. My balls were so hot, and I was too embarrassed to say, "Hey, we got to scoot over."
So you
My
couldn't tell
balls
if
on
the
fire.
heated ribbed condom worked? Did that heat up
That's
too?
another thing. And like I
Okay.
didn't know, but I just knew my balls was on fire.
Right.
Anyway, put my pants back on. We get ready to go to rallies, and she got cheesecake, and
You guys in the cake.
and then my dick started burning. And I didn't know why. It was because I had left the condom on. Oh. Yeah. What they don't tell you about those condoms, if it's not in motion, it'll just burn your dick. Yeah. And then I went, and then I finally dropped her off, and I went home. I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst day of my life.
Hold on, where did this happen? Is
Which
it in
part?
Michigan?
Yes.
And there's rallies in Michigan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rallies. Drop her off on the east side of Detroit, and then I went home, and I'm doing my nightly stuff. I washed my face, used the bathroom, and I started hearing. I still had the condom on, and I peed in it, and it blew up on my clothes. Now I got piss on my jeans, on my nice shoes. I threw my jeans away outside, and then I went in my bed and had the hardest dick on the planet Earth. And it was
Went to
like,
bed. It was
yeah,
hard.
where the fuck were you
my
at
God.
2 hours ago? Boner?
You weren't drinking, right?
No, I
So-
should have been.
It was really just a mental thing.
That proceeded for many years after that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll
you
tell you
couldn't get
right
more-
now, if he's that good of a liar,
You think that's a lie? I was like, oh my God, you fit right into the Comedy Store with that fucking story.
Yeah. I'm not gonna tell a lie. All my stuff is the truth.
Is this when you found out you were gay?
No, I'm not gay. What are you talking about?
Well, you could get hard with the girl.
Yeah, that time.
yes,
I had
but
a
if
hard
he
time.
pees himself and throws his pants, he's wicked hard. Let's not, however you get there.
No, no.
Okay, that's
Not
an
gay.
interesting story.
All right. Do I do the
that's
second one now?
No, we're
No.
going to
Oh,
rotate
okay.
off to Alan. We're going to think about your story. And you know what? A Ford Taurus, I have a question, actually. A Ford Taurus is quite small.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in the back
Today,
in the
seat...
day, they were
today
bigger.
it's like a Lincoln. It was a 4-door car.
It
Yeah.
was? It was a
yeah,
big
and
car?
today it's as
Oh.
nice and as beautiful as the Lincoln.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I was like,
Yeah.
how did she
Ford,
straddle you
if
in
you're
a Ford
listening, I
Taurus? Oh,
expect
I
a
didn't
car.
realize that. Well, okay,
That's
I'm
why I
glad
pushed all the
asked.
seats up.
Uh-huh.
Push all the seats up. It's like 2 extra feet of room.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had sex in a backseat of a Toyota Tercel.
Well, who
91,
hasn't?
So if
Anyway.
you can do that,
So,
you can do it in a Taurus.
I'm not hip
Yeah.
to a Tercel.
So my question is, I'm not throwing necessarily doubt, but for the first time having sex and going down on a girl,
Mm-hmm.
that's highly unusual. I'm
Oh.
trying not to look you in the eye as I bring that up because I have teenage boys. So, but how did you figure out to do that? Had you read like books
No, you
about
just-
it, or you just knew that's what you got to do?
Like, okay, how about this? What year, just think about it. What year did you start fucking? Oh, that's what you're saying?
Well, why do
There
we
you
got to
go.
get ugly about it? I mean,
Wait, what? Well, I started fucking and the internet was already full bloom.
Oh, okay, I
So,
see.
I mean,
yeah.
my first thought, I'm like, how can I get this girl to pee on my chest? I started off like that.
yeah.
I'm like,
All
I'm
right.
just, and that's
We've
probably,
talked about that. He is
Oh,
open
yeah.
to trying a lot of things.
Okay.
A lot of
sexually.
stuff.
That makes a lot of
Oh,
sense.
yeah.
Thank you for
He
answering
psyched
that.
himself out.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
yeah.
Yeah. When I first started fucking, we just used our imagination.
Oh, that's, come on now, that's lame.
Apparently.
That's like reading a
Apparently.
book now instead of listening to audiobooks. It's like, you're just wasting your time. Don't spit in God's face. He made audiobooks for a reason.
Valid point. Valid point. All right, Alan, you're up.
I have slept with over 700 and some women,
Damn.
Wow.
and I never had a disease. However, one time I slept with this woman. Slept with this woman. It was like a beach bum that used to whistle to the balcony for me to come out. And we were drunk, and she took me to her place. And I believe I was living with someone here in L.A. And we were near the fire. And she also had this cream that heated up.
Yeah.
But either way, it's hard to recall what actually went down. But a few days later, when I'm back home with the girl I live with,
Uh-oh.
I drop my pants, and my penis looks like it's about to leave town. I can't explain it. It was just about 10 minutes away from being petrified wood. And I went,
Oh,
well,
wow.
this doesn't look right. And I went to UCLA, and they laid me on a table, and 5 interns tried to find my penis. Because I don't know if you've ever had this, but when you're on a table, I know you women haven't, but in another way perhaps, when you lay on a table and everyone stares at your penis, it seems like it disappears. And they were all making comments like this. I've never seen anything like it. Do you know? I have no
isn't in a
idea.
good way, you know
I have
that.
no idea. And then the big doctor comes in, he flips it around, and he says, have you changed your laundry detergent? And I said, no. And he said, have you fucked a fire? And I said, possibility. So I'm not sure what it was to this day, whether it was the cream or I fucked the fire at some point. And that's my story.
Wait, was your penis burned?
3rd degree.
Did this
Jeez.
happen in La Jolla? At the Comedy Store condo in La Jolla?
No, but
Okay.
the girl used to whistle for me there.
That's what, because I don't know if it's still there, the comedy condo in La
Well,
Jolla.
they just
it's on the
redid it.
beach.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
back then it was right on the beach.
It was
Now there's
on
a
the
road and
Yeah.
it's a whole
Right.
different thing. Back then it was right on the beach. And she was older than me, which I normally, a little like an older surfer type
Just
woman.
your penis was burned, 3rd degree.
If we're believing that story, sure.
Well, that's why I'm asking, because I'm trying to figure out if it was the truth.
If it was a what?
That's why I'm asking you these questions, so I can try to figure out, decipher which one's true and what's not going to be true.
Nobody wants to challenge me on over 700 women?
Oh, yeah, that's already in my head. It's 700 women and you've never had a disease?
Personally, I was being polite. Anyways, wow, I have many questions, and I'm going to ask them after the next story because I have many fucking questions on that story. Many questions.
All right, Ron. What's your second story?
Sorry, it wasn't as good as yours.
No, fuck it, man. That's interesting. that's the story I want, you know.
Have you ever burned your penis?
With what, like a venereal disease or with like a
fire.
substance? No.
Well, that condom.
Not everybody can fuck a fire.
I don't think the fire remembered personally. Anyway, so let me ask you this: when you had that condom on your penis,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm being completely serious, did it burn it or leave any scars?
No, it was just uncomfortably hot
Okay.
for
All
me
right.
to not be able to touch it
All right.
and take it off without being embarrassed.
So, what is your second story?
Okay, my second story is about prom. There was a girl I liked in school a lot. I liked her a whole lot. And she did not care. But we were friends because we were in a lot of classes together. And a bunch of girls had asked me to go to prom. But this is when Facebook had first came out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You were in school.
Yeah. So I didn't know.
I love when millennials feel old.
But so I didn't know that they had messaged me on Facebook. And also I'm like, hey, you're supposed to go to prom with a girl you like, not just a girl. I didn't know that you can go with anybody at the time. Anyway, we had hung out a couple times before because I had a car. So, you know, girls are whores. And
Hey,
You know-
Taurus.
yeah, I had a Taurus. That's right. Thank you. Called back. I had that Taurus. And a song had came on that we both liked. Now, we didn't go with each other, but, you know,
Right.
we had
You were
both
friends.
decided that we liked that song, whatever. So we go to prom, right? She's there with her boyfriend. I'm there by myself. I had drove with a buddy. He rode with me because I had a car. And, you know, I got my suit on. I got black and silver, and, you know, it's all sweet and shit. And I look at the girl that I like, and she's with her boyfriend, and this motherfucker got on the same suit as me.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm matching the girl I wanted to go to prom with.
Oh.
Yeah. Fucking weird. So anyway, you know, going throughout the prom, stuff is happening. And remember I told you that there was a song that we both
Right.
liked. It wasn't our song. You know, we just both liked it.
Right.
So I'm at the prom, and our song comes on. Our
I
song
knew that
comes
was
on.
bullshit.
And then I see her twisting, like I would imagine, just to acknowledge that, hey, remember this song we heard? We both liked it. And she was and I could see her like getting ready to acknowledge me, but she wasn't acknowledging me. She was staring in her boyfriend's eyes as she was being twirled around on the dance floor. Very weird. So I'm
What song
sitting.
was it? What was the song?
I don't want to say it. I'll feel too gay if I say it.
No,
What
you have to
was the
say it. What was the
It
song?
was called "If You Must Fucking Know."
Yeah.
So
you're stalling.
Beautiful by Music Soul Child.
Oh, I remember that. That's a good song.
There you go.
All
So,
right.
twisting around, right? All that stuff. Time goes on. I start dancing with other people, taking pictures and all this stuff. So, at some point, she comes up to me. Her and her boyfriend got into some stuff. To this day, I don't know what they got into, but thank God they did get into some stuff. And my buddy, Azim, I shouldn't be saying names on here. He fucking went somewhere else because he had rode with me. So me and her I took her to her boyfriend's hotel. Like, they had a hotel together, because after prom, you're supposed to get a hotel room.
Right.
So I'm just driving her to her boyfriend's fucking hotel. He should have drove, but they got into it, whatever. On the way to the hotel, in the parking lot, we started talking about the prom, about what we're going to do after school, and all that stuff. And
you both match.
She leaned in and kissed me, right?
Oh.
So now, instead of me scooting all the seats forward and getting in the back, we were in the front. I scooted the seats back and stayed in the front. Because I remember what happened in the back, hot balls. Don't want that shit again.
I like how you tied both these stories
No,
together.
because I was going to ask
Yeah.
you, was this before Jiffy Lube or after Jiffy Lube? So
This is after.
After, okay.
Right.
First off, I never had sex where I worried about seating.
So I
Said the man with a scarred penis. Okay, continue.
scoot the seats back now, right? I scoot the seats back, and I haven't done this to this day, and I don't even like the term. It started finger blasting her. Whatever. I don't like that. Finger blasting.
Fingering her.
Whatever. This is
Yeah.
just weird, you know?
Yes, but there's a firecracker.
I would rather get down there with my face. I don't... Touching? What is that?
Yes, that's your move. We understand.
I guess. Anyway, yeah, I'm a pussy eater, not a finger
We're not
blaster.
mad at you.
And don't take this wrong.
Yeah.
Odd for a black man.
Hey, man, I'm different, brother. So I start finger blasting her. Oddly enough, it wasn't like last time. I actually was up, but I also didn't have a condom. That's the other thing. Condoms
You
are
used your one special condom.
well. I guess you could say that. I just, in my mind, I was done with condoms. Fuck those.
Yeah.
So I'm up now,
Fair enough.
and we started fucking in my front seat. Horn got blown, windows was opening up because people was hunking like so they can get up because a lot of people from the school had went to this hotel. Horn got blown because you're in the front seat, shit like that happened. Now in my mind, her boyfriend's in there looking out and seeing us fuck.
Right.
That never happened, but I fucked her. She later had 2 kids. I'm sure neither are mine. Oh, with that boyfriend, mind you.
Oh, with
wow.
that boyfriend.
Yeah, they got back together. They're
Wow.
married now.
Wow.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, you
That's
shouldn't say
interesting.
names.
Well, it's too late now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, so all the kids stayed at the same hotel?
Mm-hmm.
This was in Michigan?
This is, Hilton. The Hilton Hotel in Dearborn, I think it technically was.
That's very Muslim.
Yeah. Highest population of Arabs, second to Saudi Arabia. Dearborn, Michigan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They all in there.
Right.
Oh, what's going on there? I don't know what anybody saw. To this
How
day, I
long
don't
did you
know.
have that Ford Taurus?
Till my mother took it like a jerk. So from like 16 to 18.
She said, that car reeks of pussy. Barbara."
I'm sure. I'm
You take
sure
that
that's
to the
why she
car
took
wash
it. By the
right
way,
now.
as a mother of
You're
2
done.
teenage boys, I'm sure she was like,
Yeah, 16 to 18. Then I bought my own car. Then I bought a station wagon. And boy, did I fucking that.
Oh, boy.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You
can't,
really?
You can't beat a station wagon. Then, you can. A van, which I later upgraded to.
He has
But that's
a
a whole
van
nother,
now.
that's a whole nother story.
All
He
right.
lives in a van now.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Alan, what's your next story?
I was working a lounge in Reno, Nevada, the Hilton at Sat 350. And I was there for a month, and I hadn't been out in 2.5, 3 weeks. So I left the building, forgot where I went, but coming back, the entire hotel was out front on the lawn. It had been evacuated. And I said to someone, what's going on? And they said, there's a bomb scare. And I said, really? And they brought in the bomb squad, and that thing they put the bombs in that exploded, and it exploded. And it was nothing but porno magazine. And I went back to my room, and about 15 minutes later, security knocked on the door and took me downstairs and said, do I know anybody that would send me a bomb? And I said, no. And I thought it was just porno magazines. Because I do know people that might send me porno magazines. So they watched me for a few days. They asked for this person's address because apparently that's what they were able to find from the box they blew up. And what happened is a maid was supposed to bring it upstairs and left it on a cart. Another maid passed it, went, bomb! And so for 6 months after that, I was the subject of Homeland Security and the FBI.
For porno mags.
Well,
That exploded.
Well, they
for
exploded
knowing
it from what it
somebody that
said,
might,
right?
well, to them it was a bomb. They make leaps.
See, that back
Wow.
whenever I was in elementary school and middle school, that was our thing, was bomb threats.
Right.
We always had to evacuate from bomb threats.
Oh, we only had the nuclear war crap.
Yeah, the Russians, right? And now...
Yeah. If you get under that table, you'll be safe. That's what I learned.
Yeah, sure. Tuck your head. I remember tornado warnings. They'd say go up against a lock. I'm like, it's a fucking tornado. It's supposed to go in between us.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, I'm going to get to it if you don't mind.
Go for it.
I'm going to confess, Alan. Here's something you don't know about Alan and myself.
He's a compulsive liar.
That is a given, as we are all comedians sitting in the belly room of the Comedy Store. So when I became a regular here, Alan and I dated for a very short time before he became my best friend
Wasn't
in the
the
whole
shortest
world.
of times.
Well, I believe Mitzi thought I would get funnier and he would get
No,
less
Roseanne
bitter.
came over. Roseanne came over and said, I know a little blonde that likes you. And you
Yeah.
walked by and she went, her. And I went, oh, I know her.
Yeah, because we had met in Colorado when I had my boyfriend, who I'd met at the strip club, opened a comedy club in Colorado.
And used to
Alan-
book me.
Yes.
And then you started dating his ex and he didn't book you anymore?
Well, I think he used to tell you to stay away from me when I came to the club, didn't he?
Yeah. But what I do remember about Alan is when I was 18 and working at this comedy club for my newly boyfriend who opened this club, we went to go eat dinner at a Chinese restaurant. And the most memorable thing about that evening, my apologies, Alan, was the poo-poo platter. It was the first time I had a poo-poo platter. I was like, what is this
Well, it wasn't
poo-poo
a
platter
date.
genius
I just
stuff?
took her to get something to eat.
What's a poo-poo?
It's like in a Chinese restaurant. It's like an assortment of, you've never heard of that?
Like
Doesn't sound like it is.
I've heard that
yeah.
term.
Yeah, yeah. So what I'm getting at is when I told Alan, when you're going to come do the podcast tonight, you have to tell obviously a real story and a lie. Is I know from dating Alan back in the day, he has a scar on his penis.
Oh, so there is a scar.
Yes, yes.
But is it like third degree?
It's
burn
fucked
scar?
up, is all I want to say.
It's not fucked up. But
is
let's put
pretty
it this
fucked
way.
up.
If I had to do a lineup, you'd catch me.
Yeah, I know. Let's say
Oh, fuck.
if you're a
Okay.
21-year-old girl and you're having sex with a guy and you're like, what the fuck is that? Is
I
the
fucked the
internal
fire,
monologue.
honey. Get over it. Go find that again.
Wow.
Wow, it's
Go
so
find
weird.
that again.
Well, I was kind of gonna guess that story was true with a little bit like of lies sprinkled in there to make us
That story was absolutely true.
700
Everything I said in
700
that
women,
story.
no
Maybe
disease.
a little more.
Well,
Ever?
here's the thing you don't
You
know
had to
about
see what I
Alan
used
is
to
he
look
was
like.
one of the original outlaws with
Oh,
Sam
way
Kinison.
before that.
Yeah.
I'm not
was
surprised.
So-
that
I
they
was
just-
headlining in 1980 when there were no clubs, and every waitress went, "Who are you?" And so did the audience members.
Right, and they're like, "Oh,
and
you're funny."
I didn't look like I look now.
Yeah, he was
Well,
kind
you
of
look
cute.
nice now.
No, honey.
He looks like Santa Claus's brother
When
that
I
no
was
one
a
talks
child
about.
acted, I had that it look, and that's what I had when I was in my 20s.
And that was before the man gave us all these diseases, so I believe it.
However, that second
Yes,
story
Yes.
is the truth except the ending.
And you didn't go to UCLA.
Oh, yeah, no, that's the first story. That was all true. Everything I said
The second
that
story
true.
was true as well,
Except
for
the ending. I wasn't part of the investigation by the FBI or...
But you guys sent porno
Someone's-
mags that they thought were a bomb.
Girl used to stalk me with platinum blonde hair, and I took her to the hotel room a few times, and she
It
just sit in
wasn't
the corner.
me.
No, it was
No.
platinum.
No,
and
but
she used to
once-
sit in the corner and stare at me. I had no idea what she wanted. And she would send me gifts. Like one time I was renting Stempy dolls. I was in the middle of nowhere. Don't ask me how she was able to find me. But I also had a nurse one time that stalked me. I met in San Diego, and I came off stage in Phoenix, and she grabbed my hand and went, hello. And to me, the worst horror movie is that one with Michael Douglas where he cheats on the wife, and the cheater comes to kill everybody.
Right.
That's how I always take those. When I don't go, oh, you like me that much. I always go, oh, it's the killer.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, after I dated Allan and we were here both at the Comedy Store as regulars, then Mitzi would always put us together down in La Jolla to torture us, and we would have to share the condo.
No, she thought we were cute together, is what she used to
Oh,
tell
she's
me.
trying to get us back together, I guess. But I short-sheeted his bed. He would bring girls home from the club, and
Well,
I
let's not
short-sheeted his
shorthand
bed.
that story.
What does that
You
mean?
you tried to poison me?
What? You tried to poison him? Wait
Listen,
a minute.
we were broken up,
That's not good.
and
at all.
I would get Mitzi's condo. And she said, well, I want to stay with you. I go, all right, but I'm not changing my lifestyle. And I met these two girls, and I brought them back to the condo innocently.
Innocently.
And
Right.
she got all pissed off. So when I got to the Comedy Store, I had never seen garlic cloves all together where they hang like from a deli or something. And it was just hanging there with the note that said, roses are red, violets are blue, garlic stinks, and so do you.
So do you?
And I went,
was 21
but this is
people.
how
I was
fucked up I
21.
am. I went, oh, she really does like me.
Yeah.
So then I go back to the condo, and there's lines of what looks like blow on the table because I just snort anything.
Jesus Christ.
And I believe that was Ajax or something,
That's
which
not
was
good at all.
also in
It
my
was, it was.
toothpaste.
Yes, I was
So when I
pretty
got
pissed.
through
Damn.
all those, I went, "Shit, I'm going to bed finally. And short cheating to bed, well, first off, she'll explain how to do that. But she also put sponges or something that were wet. So you can't really get out of it. And you roll over and you go, oh, what was that? Oh, what was that?
By the way, I didn't do that part. Maybe they came from the whores you brought back to the comedy condo.
I don't think so.
Sponges were an old school contraceptive method. I have to explain that to Ron.
I didn't mean those kind of sponges. I mean like sink sponges.
You didn't put sink sponges
I
in
didn't
this?
do that part. I promise you.
That was
But the
pretty,
other stuff I'm totally guilty of.
you took
Yeah,
time.
I took
You went
time. I was
and bought a
pissed.
thing of garlic.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you all made up, because if a girl ever tried to poison me with Ajax, I'd kill her. I definitely wouldn't do her podcast
Maybe
afterwards.
she likes you.
Yeah.
Fuck that. You can't like me if I'm dead, but you all are wonderful. Great. I'm glad y'all got over it.
If she wanted me dead, I'd be dead.
No,
Yeah.
if I wanted him dead, trust me, he'd be dead.
Jeez
For sure. And
Louise.
I'm
vice
sure the
versa.
Ajax just burnt a bit.
However, she wouldn't have minded if I snorted the Ajax.
Yeah.
Christ.
No.
Well,
Yeah, those are fun times, right? So fun times, right, Alan? Am I
Fun
wrong?
times.
Fun times.
They were.
They were really awesome times. So, Ron, which one? So you're
No,
gonna
no, no,
guess.
no.
You
I
gotta
wanna
guess.
guess.
You gotta guess.
So with Ron, I have a hard time believing that your first time you weren't fucking rock hard. Like, oh my God, there's a girl. She's naked. I'm touching her boobies.
But he
Girl's
did. But he did
perspective.
also eat puss as his first time. So maybe that was such an overwhelming experience. No, I'm being completely serious. Maybe that's such an overwhelming experience. No, because sometimes. I mean, I don't mean to
I
talk
would've
out of
believed it if he
school.
would have like nutted early just by
I think
eating
he
her
told
out.
two true stories.
I don't think so. I don't think
And
so.
I never want to hear you say
Nutted.
nutted early ever again.
First off, who would admit to having a Taurus? Has to be a true story. Has to be a true story.
It was an old Taurus. It was big.
I
it
don't
was a
care.
nice
Has
Taurus.
to be a true story.
98.
I'm gonna call the first one a lie because the fact that you knew
Yeah.
to eat puss on the first round out. My
Well,
apologies.
But he
That-
wasn't a virgin.
that I
no,
believe.
that was his first. That was
his
his first
first
time.
That I believe because we've had some conversations where
But he
gets-
did say
Ron
he was
is
on
freaky.
porno.
What?
He did say he was a porno enthusiast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Point's
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Porn's
Ron
awesome.
is freaky. He
Hey, what are you gonna do?
watches some freaky ass porn.
Yeah. I'll send you some links.
Plus, that's how it goes in porn. You get in the backseat of the car, you get pussy eaten. Everybody
Right.
knows that.
Yeah.
So,
Jesus.
but I call bullshit because I just can't imagine you not being rock hard and
That's
on your
actually a
first
very
time.
common thing that happens, you know. It's called
Sell it.
It's called performance anxiety. When you just You just don't
That's
know.
very true.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
old are
no.
you?
26.
Well, when you're my age, it's called something else.
Yeah.
Which one was true?
Wait, you didn't critique the other one.
Well, the other one, you tried to like throw us off by saying, like acting like you didn't remember the name of the song.
No, I
Like-
remembered. I just didn't want to say it because it's literally called So Beautiful.
So
I only know him, 20 minutes? And I
Yeah.
believe he fucked somebody's girl in the park.
Well, my big thing is when you said, although I do believe the first one is a lie, when you said that all the kids had rooms at the hotel, and I was all like, I would never pay for a room for my kid on prom night at a hotel.
Well, no, they probably had part-time jobs that they paid for the room, and they just told their parents.
We
to
had
But
the
it's
somebody-
not
car
like you
or the
can rent a
woods?
room when you're 17 years old at a hotel.
Yeah, but there's probably
unless-
somebody in school
But that's how
18.
it's done now in the last 20
It's
years.
a mixture of everything all three of y'all
And
just
I
said,
was
yeah.
dating.
Yeah.
I was 17 dating a 28-year-old. We could have gotten a room anytime we
Yeah,
wanted.
but his story was not about fucking a 28-year-old that took advantage of a poor, sweet
And what
soul
state
like
was this
yourself.
in?
North Carolina.
Well, I've got a story for that, too.
I believe that. I believe you're way over the hill in North Carolina. 17, you're just an old bitch.
He was like, "This old bitch."
Oh, I've got a story for that, too, but that's
All right,
for another
so
episode.
tell us what the
So
deal
the
is.
first story, absolutely true. It
What?
did happen.
You said
Yeah.
it was a lie.
I know.
Yeah, the
I
first
You have
story.
to understand man mentality to get that.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit fucking
And the second
happened.
one?
The second one was half true up until after the turn and twist. Actually, I mixed up a lot of that stuff. Really, I just mixed up the second story. Second story, all that shit is true. Only I did not drive that girl home. I did not fuck her ever in life.
Oh, I thought you did. I
No.
thought for sure you did, and the real ending was you got your ass beat.
No. They just left and lived happily ever after. There was a little portly girl named, I forget her name, but I drove her
I
to,
believe she was in the yearbook as the portly girl.
yeah, probably. What was her name? I don't remember.
Aw.
I drove her to the Hilton and was too scared to grab her titty, even though she wanted to fuck me. And but I was shell
Scared
shook.
of portly or
I-
scared of the aggression?
I was shell shook from the
First
last
one.
car situation. So it's
Right.
like I'm not
You
gonna
got a lot of
fucking-
crap going on in your
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
When
were-
did you end up actually having sex for the first time?
That you enjoyed it and that you nutted.
Well,
Only because she said it first.
no, that's fine.
nutted so many times.
Hey, that's what it's called, you know. So it was actually with the girl that I couldn't get it up with the first time.
Really?
Only here's the thing. You see, she sucked my dick and I came.
Well, I was
Right.
gonna say she didn't help you out at all.
And I always used a condom with her, and I could never wrap my mind, my body just couldn't. I just wasn't mature enough mentally to connect to this whole fucking condom shit. So I would like.
I get it.
Yeah.
Because in the
I get
porns,
it.
they don't show
Who wants
it.
to be riding in the jet and all of a sudden you got to stop? Hey, we got to gas up, put a
Yeah.
little rubber on here, and then we're going to take that jet back off.
Right.
Yeah. So I would shove it in there, and it would be all limp, and I'd get a few strokes in, and then she wouldn't enjoy it. I'd eat her out. She'd suck my dick. One time, she sucked my dick, and it was for so long, because she wasn't good at it, but I was determined to come.
Wait. Let me correct you.
What'd you say?
There is no bad sucking dick.
Well-
it's just better sucking.
I would later go on to get it done a lot better. That's the point. But I was standing up for so long that when I came, I didn't tell her I was going to come, and I kind of came in her mouth, and she pushed me, but my leg was asleep.
You have way too much going on.
So when she pushed me away, which was a light push, I couldn't feel my leg, and I fell on the ground. But I'm still jerking it because I'm coming. I'm trying to finish coming. So
I'm going to say right now that's a true story.
I'm on the fucking ground in her college dorm, fucking jerking my dick like, why'd you push me?
Aw. Next to a Ford Taurus?
No, we were inside. We were
Okay,
inside.
okay.
I think I have a sitcom for you. It's called My Penis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
And
I've
it's
got
just you dating every week.
so many stories, so many horror stories about
My
that.
leg fell asleep.
But I didn't get to fuck.
My leg fell asleep.
I didn't get to fuck well until I got my next Next girlfriend. Because after that girl, I dated a girl, and all I did was eat her pussy. I never put my dick out.
Wow.
It was a year of me
No
just
dry
eating
humping?
pussy.
I remember.
No.
I miss dry
Catholic
humping.
girl?
Oh, dry
No,
humping
she
was
just
fun.
she just was older than me and took advantage of me.
We
anyway,
used to always go to the Catholic school because they were the first to want to break out.
Yeah.
this was in college. I was grown by this time. So after her, I dated this girl, and she stuck with me. You know, she stuck with me.
Stuck with
and
you.
then I just learned the ways, and then I started.
And then you left her right after she taught you how to fuck. You
She
probably
didn't teach
left
me.
her.
She allowed me to practice on her.
Oh, okay, there.
And I told her that too. Yeah.
That's the nicest way I ever heard that put. So I'm fucking this bitch, but she allowed it.
Yeah.
She was wanting me to learn.
She allowed me to practice on her, and practice did I.
Hey,
And
what are you doing on Thursday? I want to come over and practice. No, fuck you and the dinner. I just want to practice.
I got very
Dress
good.
rehearsal because I'm not putting that rubber on for no reason.
I got very good. Very
Okay,
good.
okay. All right.
And
all
then
right. Fair enough.
I'll
fair
rifle
enough.
through this because I thought about telling this story and then making it a lie, but this really happened too. I'll rifle through it. So I got very good at fucking her. Then I stopped dating her to date this other girl. Then I stopped dating the other girl. I didn't get to fuck her yet. I stopped dating the other girl to date her sister. So as I'm dating the sister, my first girl, my practice girl, and the girl I left her for, they got together and became lesbos and started
Right.
fucking each other.
First off, who would sleep with sisters?
Well, me. But I later found out they weren't real sisters. They what black people call play sisters.
Right.
Anyway.
I was being sarcastic.
Oh,
That's
okay,
all-
right,
that's all
right. So the two girls that I first was with, they got together and started being fucking lesbians. And then I stopped dating the sister. I went back to the two lesbos and started dating both of them at the same time. And for like a day and a half, I had two girlfriends. In the house, though. Like, and I had a
Wow.
threesome. It was awful. I couldn't get it up. This time, it was because of booze. I had a whiskey dick, and I couldn't get up.
Oh,
and
you've been starting to say this on stage.
No, I say this part on stage.
Yeah.
I say the threesome joke on stage, but
Right.
it really happened. Like, and I just was licking their assholes, telling them to spit in my mouth. I was trying to overcompensate because my dick was so limp.
So, is it more
That's
horrifying?
overcompensating.
Is
If
it
you
more
just would have made a quiche.
Is it more horrifying, doubly so, to have a limp dick in front of two women?
That's a very good question. At this point,
Yes, it is.
at that point, at least in my life, no, because
First off, they didn't need you.
they didn't. But
Well,
here's
then,
the thing.
then you take a corner seat and make popcorn.
Well, I mean, I kind of
That
did
would
sit
have been
back.
the
I did sit
responsible
back
thing
and
to
watch.
do.
But they were in my house. I had to be a part of it. They were in my bed. And when I finished, I slept on the couch and let them sleep in the room. And I got up in the
A
morning.
gentleman, if I ever heard
When you
one.
said you finished, so did you actually end up?
No, I didn't come.
Nutting?
But it was.
He was downstairs crying most of the night.
I fucked one of them pretty well for like 2 minutes. The other one. The
2
other one.
minutes. 2 minutes is not pretty well.
Well-
2 minutes, they're still looking at their nails.
She squirted, so I take that as a receipt of a good time. Yeah. So the other one.
Listen, Grandpa Scarred Dick, shut the fuck up. Let the young man talk.
Oh, my goodness.
The other one, I couldn't really fuck her very well because I wasn't used to her. I hadn't practiced on her. I had practiced on the other one. So I knew what to do with her. The other one, I didn't, but I ate her out very well. I didn't have a limp tongue. That doesn't exist. And she came. I later heard that she came. She told me. Well,
Later
she-
heard.
she
Later
told me.
heard, yeah.
Yeah.
I call bullshit on the later heard, though.
No, she told me. It's a. I'd be here
That
all
was
day
the
if I
best
explained
2
that.
damn minutes I ever had.
Wow.
I later heard it was a thing. But yeah, I had 2 girlfriends for like a day and a half. Individually, I fucked them well. Like when I didn't fuck them together.
Right.
But when I came together, I was too drunk. But back to your question, was it more horrifying to have limp dick with 2 girls as opposed to 1?
Yes.
The 2 girls, I was drinking by this time, so I didn't give a fuck really.
Right. At least
Yeah.
they had each other.
That's what
No,
I'm
fuck
saying.
them. I don't care about that. I was intoxicated, so it's like whatever. Bitches.
Nobody missed him.
At
if you
least
get
they
my
had
drift.
each other.
Yeah. 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 When do you think he's going to pass out?
No, I didn't care because I was drinking. If I was drinking the first time I had limp dick, then I wouldn't have cared. The first time I wanted to kill myself. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking drive off this bridge right now.
Oh.
I'm gonna drive off this.
a comic instead.
He put
did,
too
yeah.
much weight on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing comedy the first time I had limp dick. By this time, I was doing comedy. I'm like, I got 2 bitches. I just got whiskey dick. You played yourself. We should have did this earlier, and I would have gave you the healthy dick. Now you get whiskey dick. But that happened.
Wow. Interesting, heartfelt, sincere. We found out who was capable of nutting and who was not.
Sounds to
do
me,
not
sounds to
tonight.
me like these girls said, "I'd like to fuck you." Well, we
Yeah.
got to go with him. What do you want to do?
No,
Let's
man.
get him drunk.
I was hot shit, kind of. You know, I was hot shit. I had a lot of practice. That one girl was very.
Yeah.
She was a sweetheart. She was an
very
angel.
patient.
That one
with
girl is a lot of practice, huh?
Yeah, really fucked her, man. I be fucking, man. I be fucking. Well,
This has been so enlightening. Thank you guys for coming on to
This is
the
a
Liars
PBS
Club.
special, isn't it?
No, but thank you for coming on and sharing your stories. Where can we catch you guys at?
And what can we follow you?
what time is it? I'll tell you where you can catch me right now. You can catch me.
At that lesbian club on Lanciana and 3rd.
I have been to a lesbian club. That's another story out here. You can catch me in 30 minutes opening up the belly room, not performing, but like telling people where to sit.
Yes.
I'm about to clock
Yes.
in.
Well, congratulations on becoming a paid regular. That's
Oh, thank you.
an
Yeah.
amazing thing. And as soon as Jessica said that she got you and you just became a paid regular, I thought to myself, let's invite Allan on because that would be a fun show to do. And I
Yeah,
appreciate you
wonderful.
coming down
Thank
here.
you. No, you can
Yeah.
follow me at Comedian Ron T. I'll probably be going up Thursday at Crack 'em Up Comedy in the Belly Room. And look for me doing late night spots in the OR.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I think
Congratulations
this has really
once
been
again.
interesting to see the old school fucking and the new school fucking.
If you could give any new regular any advice, and I'm being completely serious, what would the advice be?
Don't put so much weight on fucking.
Yeah. I do a good job of that.
That's
I
fair.
think.
You
But
know
I'll
what?
take that.
Fair
Listen,
enough. Fair
Don't
enough.
worry about everybody else.
Yeah.
You just be funny. Don't worry about the guy that's funnier. Don't worry about the guy that thinks he's funnier. You just do you.
Duly noted, brother.
That's good advice.
Good
Appreciate it.
advice.
Because
Well-
here's the deal. We're gunfighters. There's always going to be a faster gun.
Yeah.
And you got the chance to be the faster gun now, so ride it out. I can
Right
still
on.
shoot you right in the fucking forehead.
Oh, I believe it.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, don't listen to all, because that's what it is today. It's all a lot of bullshit with the younger
Yeah.
people. In
Right
my
on.
day, it was clicky. We hung out 24/7.
Oh, please.
But-
We were just all at the memorial for Mitzi Shore, and it was funny to hear everyone's take on what the memorial was like, whether they
Right.
liked it, whether they thought it was respectful enough. And to hear Allan talk about all the old folks backstage in the main room bitching at each other on who's going to
Oh,
get
it was
on.
very
And
disappointing.
then
They
to
haven't
go,
grown up
Oh,
at all.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then to go and hear all the young guys smoking pot in the back and talking about those fucking old guys and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, these bitches are never going to change. It's
No.
always the same. But congratulations for being in the club.
Thank you.
Thank you,
guys for
Allan,
doing the show. That was
for
really fun.
so much for coming out and doing this. And you have been listening to the Liars Club.
And you've been lied to.